Every viral post you've ever seen has one thing in common, and it's not luck, it is structure. And today I'm going to show you the exact storytelling framework that I've used to get millions of impressions on all my platforms. Hi, my name is Adam, and I've been able to grow my LinkedIn account to 67,000 followers, my Instagram account to 20,000 followers, and produce leads for my staffing business. Not only will I give you my storytelling framework, but I'm going to give you the exact AI prompt I use in order to pump out 30 days of content in just a few hours. Most people write forward. I like to write backward. And I do that because if you don't know where you're going to take your reader, you lose them halfway through. So I always start with the punchline and show you an example here. Okay, the punchline here would be, the world calls it risk, I call it the future. This is my starting point when writing this piece of content, okay? And then, like, what's the final shift? What's the final insight? That's the mic drop, if you will, of my piece of content. And if you know where you're ending, every line before that, it just sets the stage for the reader. Okay. So the hook, everybody has heard of the hook. The first line is absolutely everything. And again, I probably spend 80% of my time on the hook. Okay. It's not a greeting. It's not background. It's a visual, a contradiction, and a tension. That's what I'm trying to create when I'm creating a hook. Okay. An example of this would be hey, they warned me not to bet on Pakistan. Again, it feeds right into my end in there. Okay. So, that would be the example of a hook. And that's the line that makes people lean in and think like, wait, what's going on here? And if you miss the hook, the rest of the content, it really doesn't matter. You're not going to get the reader to stop and read your content. Okay. Okay. Next, let's jump into we got the dance here. Okay, the dance is not the last dance, but the dance, all right, where you have conflict and context, and you want to create this loop. Here's where most writers go wrong. They just info dump. They take a topic and they just lay it all out with no rhythm and kind of like no tension throughout. There's no loop, all right? Instead, I use what I call the dance. I go back and forth between the conflict and the context, or tension and release, or the problem and the meaning, okay? An example of this would be hey, a conflict would be bloated U.S. back offices, okay? And then the context would be Pakistan talent as the solution. And that loop, it keeps people reading. It's the heartbeat of the actual LinkedIn post. So I think it's really, really important that once you get the reader with the hook, that you create this dance back and forth between the conflict and the context. Okay. Now you got to have rhythm. Okay. People don't read in blocks, they scan. Okay. So if you have long drawn out LinkedIn posts, okay, and there's no white space, they're probably not going to read that. Okay. And make it easy on their eyes, and so they can scan it. I mix it up, okay? I have short, punchy lines, then I'll have a flowing sentence that connects everything, and then I have blank lines, and it's, again, just to let the eyes breathe, if you will, okay? But short, punchy lines, a long flowing sentence, and white space. I cannot stress white space enough when it comes to writing in general, okay? It's music on the screen, and it just keeps the reader's attention the whole way through your piece of content. Now, you got to have a unique lens, okay? Anyone can post facts, but what makes those facts stick is the lens. It's either, it can be a character story, reframe of the default assumption, or zooming way out, then weigh in. I guess some examples of this would be like my story with my military background tied to risk taken and getting out of the military with 17 years of service. Reframing something. Pakistan isn't cheap leverage, but it's leverage, okay? And then zoom in out of the big picture of global talent challenges, and then zooming way into one founder that is struggling in maybe Austin, Texas, okay? This lens is what makes the post yours, and not just content, but a perspective, all right? From your lens, okay? All right. Implied visuals. Every line should make the reader see something, not just think it. Every single line, all right? An example in my writing would be founders coding from roadside cafes. This creates a visual of maybe a laptop, a cafe setting, noise in the background. You got bikes and buses and everything hustling around you, okay? Think of it like a filmmaker and cutscenes, okay? And then shift the angles and build images as you're writing, okay? All right, and the next one, now there needs to be some balance here, but I typically run with no call to action by default. And here's the here's the part that most people don't get is, don't end with follow me or comment this below. Although that type of the comment this below, it does work. You don't want to end and ruin your entire story with all of that, okay? Again, you just had your mic drop. You don't want to follow it up with follow me, okay? My posts are really insight driven, and they end with a punchline, okay, that we just saw. So I guess an example of this would be, okay, is this is the punchline. Okay, but now this is where I have my call to action. I show that the post clearly ends, and then I have a call to action. So I think that is pretty important. I guess the key takeaway is you want everything to stick, and sometimes people get carried away with the follow me stuff. Okay, all right. Probably what you've all been waiting for is like, how are you able to pump out 30 days of LinkedIn content using this type of framework? And this is exactly what I prompt my AI with. I know it's a lot on one screen. So if you want this, I've created a document. It's in the description. Just go up there. I'm not gatekeeping it. It's there for you to have. So it's in the description. But this is exactly what I copy and paste into ChatGPT or the AI that I'm using. Notice at the bottom here that this is everything. It's our 7 steps of our framework, and then we got our topic, right? And I didn't go over how I create topics, but you'll insert your topic, you'll have your end and punchline, and then your tone. Your tone will be different than mine. And I can give you tips in a different video on how to prompt AI for your tone, but you're going to want to put your tone in there is best as you can. Okay. All right. So to recap everything. So the framework, all right, we're gonna start with the ending, okay? Then we're gonna move to the hook. We're gonna have our dance, and with our dance, we gotta have some rhythm and have a lens. Okay, we're gonna create visuals with every single line, and then of course we're gonna end with our punchline. Okay, that's our mic drop. It's really not magic, but I do think this is a really strong method. Again, it has built my LinkedIn account from a few thousand followers to 67,000 followers. And I guess once you master it, you'll never write boring content again. And if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe, all right? To see me break down more of this type of stuff. Make sure you get my newsletter. It's found in the description as well. And if you want to speed run this, all right, and you don't want to make all your own content, I can place offshore talent into your business that will produce all the content for you. All you have to do is shoot me a message and we'll chat. But yeah, okay, until the next one, later.